Well, good morning, welcome. So we'll start today in our typical seat. So if you are not already in your comfortable seat, go ahead and find a seat that feels comfortable and supportive. And then just allow your eyes to fall closed as you begin to check in with your body. Noticing how you feel today. Noticing what might be present on a physical level, on a thought level, on an emotional level. Start to check in. And then we'll guide our palms together in front of the heart. Interlace the fingers. Press the palms forward and up. And just begin to reach up through one hand and up through the other side. Left and right, side to side a few times, gently tugging on the fingers as you lengthen each arm, each side of the body, down into the low back. All right, and then separate the hands, take them behind the back, interlace the fingers there, squeeze the shoulder blades together, open up across the chest, and start to turn the head from side to side. All right, and then lift the chin up and drop it down. Again, lifting up and dropping down. And then once more lifting and dropping. All right, as you bring your head up to center, release the hands. And then we'll just take this right leg out to the side. So if you're sitting in a cross-legged way, perhaps that left leg stays kind of folded in. And then we'll just begin to walk the right hand down the right leg. And as you do, just come to a point where you start to feel sensation in the back of this right leg. And then start to move the left shoulder back in space. So you turn your head to look out toward the left, beyond the left shoulder. And then sweep the left arm up and over. All right, then as you next inhale, lift up. And as you exhale, let the hands rest on the floor behind you, pausing for a breath or two. And then as you bring your torso back upright to vertical, we'll take this right hand now over to the left knee and left hand towards the floor or a cushion if you're sitting on one behind you. As you inhale, grow tall, and as you exhale, twist toward the left, sending that left shoulder back in space. And then we'll turn the head to look over towards that right foot. And sensing all the places within the body that are now rotated. All right, gradually unravel from head and neck, from shoulders, and the rest of the torso. And then we'll switch the legs. Take the left leg out to the side, fold the right leg in, start to walk the left hand down a little bit until you start to feel a stretch in the back of the straightened leg. And then move the right shoulder back in space, turn to look out over the right shoulder, and then sweep the right arm up and over. Hmm. All right, with your next inhalation, rise up. And with your exhale, hands come to rest on the floor behind you, leaning back once again. Pause for a breath or two. And then bringing the torso back upright to vertical. Now we'll take the left hand over toward the right knee and right hand towards the floor or cushion behind you. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, gently twist over to the right. And then when that right shoulder doesn't go back any further, turn just the head to look toward the left foot. Sensing all the places in the body that are now rotated. All right, gradually release from head and neck, from shoulders, and the rest of the torso. All right, so we'll shift onto hands and knees. As you come to hands and knees, hands are about shoulder distance apart, but we'll just start with the knees close together. And then we'll lift the left knee up and out to the side, and then just start to rotate through your hip. So letting that left knee draw a big circle in space. A couple of times in one direction. And a couple of times the opposite way. All right, with your next inhale, reach the left leg back. Exhale, pull the left knee in toward the chest, rounding the back. Again, inhale, left leg back. Exhale, knee into the chest. And one more inhale back. And exhale, knee into the chest. So as you take your left leg back this time, just cross it over the right leg, drop the toes, curve the spine to the right so you're peeking back at that left foot. Sensing all the way up the left side of the body. All right, then as you bring your torso back to neutral, pick that left leg back up and step it all the way out to the left side. Walk the hands in, lifting up. We'll take our palms together in front of the heart, interlace the fingers, press the palms forward and up. All right, deep breath in here. Exhale as you side bend to the left and really reach through that right hand in particular. Again, inhale, come up. Exhale over to the left. And one more inhale, come up. And exhale over to the left. All right, as you inhale and come up, we'll exhale, release the hands. Take them all the way to the floor. Take knees under hips. Tuck our toes, lift the knees up into downward facing dog. Take a moment to shake out your head, yes and no. Relax the muscles of the face and the jaw. All right, inhale forward into plank pose. Exhale, release to the knees and then the belly and then the ribs. Untuck the toes. Walk the arms forward so elbows are underneath the shoulders. Turn the palms up, gently squeeze and release the fingers. As well as curling a soft fist in toward the elbows to kind of stretch the top side of the wrist and hand. All right, and then turn the palms back over. Reaching the heart forward, the toes back. All right, then lower the heart down toward the floor. Press back up onto hands and knees. Knees come back together. Lift the right knee up and out to the side. Start to circle through the hip a few times in one direction. And then a few times the opposite way. All right, so with your next inhale, reach the right leg back. Exhale, right knee into the chest. Again, inhale back. Exhale, knee into the chest. And one more inhale back. And exhale, knee into the chest. So as you take your right leg back this time, just cross it over the left leg, dropping the toes. Curve the spine to the left, peeking back at that right foot. Sensing all the way up the right side of the body. All right, as you bring the torso back to neutral, pick the right leg up and step the foot all the way out to the side. So directly out from that right hip. Walk the hands in, lifting up. Again, palms come together, interlace the fingers, press the palms forward and up. And then a deep breath in here. Exhale as you side bend to the right. Again, inhale, come up. Exhale over to the right. And one more inhale, come up. And exhale over to the right. As you inhale and come up, exhale, release the hands all the way to the floor. Knees underneath the hips, tuck the toes. And then before lifting all the way to downward dog, just lift your knees about an inch or so and hover. Feeling the low back dropping down, tailbone lifting. Then take another breath in. And exhale to downward dog. From this downward dog, just begin to walk hands and feet toward each other. As you come towards your forward fold, folding over the thighs, either with the knees a little bit bent or maybe a lot bent. Experiment with how much space there is between your feet so you find an easeful feeling through the spine and low back in particular. All right, begin to walk the hands up the fronts of the legs, rising up to stand a little bit at a time. And then we'll turn and step wide on the mat. So we'll practice Kapalabhati in Goddess Warrior pose today. So toes turning out, heels turning in, bending the knees. So you'll be squatting down. And then as you're squatting in this way, the knees are pressing slightly back. So you feel your hips and outer thighs engage. And then arms are out, elbows bent, elbows pressing back. So you feel the muscles between your shoulder blades engage as well. All right, exhaling through the nose as the abdominals contract like you're blowing your nose. And then relaxing the belly so the breath comes right back in. So we'll do this for just about a minute. So take your attention to your belly and let's begin. So as you release control of the breath, let the legs straighten, the arms release, the feet parallel to each other. And we'll take one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Give the energy some time to settle back down. And then just begin to walk the feet closer and closer together. We'll do a standing balance pose here, so you might do this right on your mat. If you want to be near a wall, of course, feel free to do that. So we'll shift the weight largely onto the right foot and just step the left foot slightly forward. So maybe 80% of the weight in the right foot, only about 20% in the front foot. These are approximate, of course, but take as much weight as possible into the right foot. And then if this is plenty challenge, just stay here with the ball of the left foot down. The other option is to start lifting the leg, and maybe this left thigh comes parallel to the floor. Now, if you are lifting this left leg up off the floor, really engage the muscles of the leg. So you might even imagine or even try with your left hand to gently press down on the left thigh, and you want to feel like that left thigh is pushing up against your hand. And then activate all the way down to the feet or the foot on the left side, feeling the toes spread apart. All right, so adding to this, take your left arm forward and up. And then we'll take the right arm just forward. All right, now if your left foot is still on the floor, experiment with sliding it onto the front of your right foot. If it's possible, walk it up a little bit more towards the shin, maybe all the way up towards the front of the right knee. And then we'll take the arms behind the back. Grab a hold of the right wrist and squeeze the shoulder blades together. So you're opening up across the chest as we come into flamingo pose. 2 more breaths. All right, release the hands, release the left foot to the floor. Give that right leg a little shake out if that's helpful. And then just take the hands to the hips, and we're going to circle the hips. So take the hips back, out to one side, and forward, and out to the other side. And really exaggerate this movement so that you feel like you're finding sort of the edges of the rotational capacity in your hips. And then after you've gone a few times in one direction, just change directions. Same thing, but the opposite way. All right, then gradually come to stillness. We'll balance on the left foot this time, so most of the weight in the left foot. Step the right foot a little bit forward, 80% of the weight in that left foot approximately. Maybe just a little bit of weight in that right foot. And then if this feels like enough challenge, just stay here or experiment with lifting the right leg up. Maybe a little bit, maybe a lot. Maybe use a block underneath your foot if you want to come somewhere in between fully supporting the leg with your inner hip strength. Somewhere in between that and foot down. Feel free to use your block. And then again, this leg is very much engaged, so it's pushing up against an imaginary hand that's pushing it down. And then that right foot is engaged. Spread the toes. And then we'll add to this, taking the right arm forward and up, and then the left arm just forward. All right, now begin to move that right foot, perhaps to the top of the left foot, perhaps up a little further onto the shin, or up a little further onto the kneecap of that left leg. And then we'll take the arms behind the back, grab the left wrist, squeeze the shoulder blades together, open up across the chest, finding flamingo pose. All right, and then release the arms, release the right foot, give the left foot a little shake out. All right, we'll step near the back of the mat. Feet about hip distance. With an inhale, find your chair pose. With your exhale, one more downward dog. And then inhale, release to your knees. Exhale, sit back towards your feet into child's pose for 3 breaths. All right, then after your 3rd breath, go ahead and make your way back into your comfortable seat. We'll practice alternate nostril breathing. All right, so as you come into your comfy seat, we'll use the right hand, of course. Peace fingers in towards the palm. Right thumb to right nostril as you inhale through the left. Close it off, open the right and exhale. And then inhale right side. Switch, exhale left side. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. And just keep going at your own speed. So after the next time that you breathe out through your left nostril, just release the right hand down, allowing that arm to come back into rest and ease. And then just observe the breath flowing back into a natural rhythm and volume without restriction as to which nostril the breath flows in or out of. All right, then we'll join our palms in front of the heart. And as we bow to the light within ourselves, we also bow to the light within each other. Namaste.